All right, good afternoon. Welcome back to an update number 13 of Living Off an Income Portfolio. This is a series where I track my portfolio during the drawdown period where I withdraw every month the amount that I need to live off of. And then I compare it with the different strategies such as like a traditional S&P 500 portfolio, XEQT, and HYLD. So this is the October 2025 update number 13. Let me just switch the screen here. I did post on Reddit the update about a week ago, so we're gonna look at that and we're gonna look at the current number. The update was posted exactly on Friday. Let me see what day that was. Friday the 7th, no, Friday the 10th. So that was exactly when Trump tweet about the trade war that could be happening again with China. So the stock dropped quite significantly. Okay, at the time, at the recording, our portfolio is at 1.102 million. This is with all this withdrawing and everything like that. So a week later, at a time, it was a little bit higher, and then on that day it dropped like $30,000. So this is the current number now, 1127. So far everything's going well. Um, so if you look at what I post on that day, I made some changes because of the big drop on that Friday. I got assigned on NVIDIA and HYLD position. So this is the new position that we have right here, highlighting here. So subsequently, because I know that I'm going to be assigned a pretty large amount of NVIDIA shares, I decided to sell my NVDH because it's going to be a little too redundant. So I can kind of manage this one on my own on the NVIDIA cover call and HYLD. What I did is I sold I saw a put option on NVIDIA and HYLD. I think NVIDIA was at 185 put, HYLD was at 135, and of course they dropped below that price. So then with the option obligation, I have to purchase them. I sold two contract of NVIDIA and three contract of HYLD, so that's why I have 200 share of NVIDIA and 200 share of HYLDs here. Um, this is basically a pure premium play, so I'm not really gonna try to speculate the price. I'm probably gonna sell a pretty aggressive cover call to kind of like cycling it around, and we'll go from there. So of course, because of that, our margin balance went up quite a bit. It actually went down to 25,000 after selling off NVDH, and now because of all the assignment, it went up to 138,000. Our margin maintenance is at $661 per month, but considering the distribution we're getting, these are the monthly one, about 1,020 is monthly, more than enough to cover the margin balance maintenance. Anyways, so okay, so of course the core holdings are doing well. Everything's kind of like a little bit geared toward the growth holding. Actually went up quite nicely, and then living extent portion kind of doing as it should. This is a portion that we withdraw everything out of the 4,150 here. We withdraw every month to live off of, and then the rest we kind of let it grow on its own organically on its own, or like with a little bit more managing on the margin account. Okay, let's take a look at the VFV portfolio. So this is where I tested like so I retired about a year and a half ago on this portfolio where I kind of self-managed and a mix of growth and income. I wanted to see how I would have done if I were to just go, full port VFV, full port XEQT, or full port HYLD. For those who are not familiar, VFV is basically an S&P 500 ETF, just straight up passive index fund. XEQT is kind of like all-in-one global diversified with slightly weighted on Canada. Quite a popular all-in-one fund in Canada right now. And HYLD is kind of like a S&P based US in cover call fund that are quite popular in Canada as well. Okay, let's take a look at VFV portfolio. VFV portfolio so far is doing at 1.029. I often get a comment on Reddit that I actually own all these four portfolio myself, but I have to say that I wish I would have $4 million. I wish I have that, but these are just hypothetical. As you can see here, I track all the selling every month. So basically what I do is that I take the amount that of the dividend that VFV would provide, I average it out, deducted it, and sold 20.48 per share per month right now based on the price of VFV. So for the year, I mean, since the starting, we sold about 238 shares to live, and then this is all the history and the price we sold at. So VFV is doing quite well. It's been growing steadily. But surprisingly, it is underperformed compared to the rest right now. But I guess it's, XEQT Canada been doing really well this year, so XEQT is actually killing it. XEQT is at 1.072. Personally, I originally I thought that VFV would outperform XEQT just because it's more concentrated on US, which is subsequently more concentrated in tech. But it goes to show that diversification really helps lower volatility, and in this case, it actually helped overperform VFV even, which was really cool to see. XQT, of course, you can see the history of selling and buying here. XQT is a little bit more tricky to track because they pay quarterly and then the yield is not consistent. So I try to be as diligent as I can, as you can see here. Sometimes you end up buying shares, and then a lot of times you end up selling. So total, we have sold 705 shares to live off of. Now let's take a look at HYLD. HYLD yield quite nicely at about 12-13%. This is this is the amount we have right now. It's actually edging out VFV right now, partially because market been going really strong this year, and HYLD has a modest leverage of 25%, so that really helps into this whole process of growing. As you can see, HYLD, since they pay so much, I had to slap a 10% upfront tax on it because I know that end of the year, with this amount of payout, I'm definitely going to be paying some taxes. Originally, I had it set at 10%, but after doing some calculation, I think 10% a little too high, so I lowered down to 10%. I put in the comment over here. So HYLD, I didn't have to sell anything. So of course, every month you're gonna be buying shares every month, and these are the price that I bought them at. So far for the year, we have bought almost 4,000 shares. So the share count gonna keep increasing over time. And okay, let's take a look at the side-by-side number here. Ignore the November number because it's not finalized yet. So this is the amount. I actually retired in mid of 2024, but I start tracking seriously in November. I was in Thailand at the time, and you just have so much free time that I just thought that I'll just do it, just to kind of more data is always nice, and I love looking at. I doing Excel spreadsheet anyways, might as well do this. So you can see here the amount that we withdraw every month to live. So it kind of gradually kind of fluctuating depending on how much the portfolio pays in this living expense section. So basically, whatever this amount pay, I take it out. Okay, you can see that everything's starting at 932,000 and slowly growed over time. I want to point out that in April, when during Liberation Day, where Trump come out and announced a crazy tariff on basically the whole world, everything dropped like a rock. XEQT actually hold up really, really well. XEQT over here actually dropped the least and rebound quite nicely. Um, our main portfolio was really, really heavy in tech, so of course it dropped like crazy, even dropped way harder than S&P 500. HYLD, because of leverage, also dropped harder. So think of leverage as a double-edged sword, right? When it go up, it enhances the going up, and when it go down, it also enhances the coming down. So something to keep in mind. And since then, we recovered quite nicely. So this is where we are at. And then I have this little nice graph here, kind of cool to look at. So starting by point, you can see the big dip over here during the Liberation Day. Okay, I think that's it for the number. Honestly, I've been pretty lazy this past month. We start playing Magic Gathering with friends, and we kind of getting in more and more into it. So I've been really, really into that, and then we've been going out for a walk. My mom has been going through some health issues, so we've been really assisting her with it. I mean, I know I say it every video and every post that you can't take life for granted. You gotta try to enjoy things along the way. My mom's the type that, she work hard all her life, eat super healthy, and then, right before she's supposed to be retiring next year, and now she is struck with potentially really lethal cancer. Hopefully, we kind of sort that out, but yeah. So I'm glad that I'm in a position that I'm able to spend more time with her and then, be able to assist her whenever she needs, because right now she really immune compromised due to the medication that she's taking. So we try to avoid her going out, so I'm able to, go grocery shopping for her, go out for a walk with her. So that was really nice. Um, okay. Sorry, a little downer there. So our goal is going well this month. We didn't really, nothing changed much. I mean, Reading books, I mean, I could have done more, but I think, I've been really slacking out the past few years. So I think we're on a good progress there. Duolingo, I think we actually at about 340 now. We definitely killed the goal there. Cooking new dishes, this is I really enjoy. Actually, after retiring, I really found myself really enjoy cooking. So we able to try different dishes, and we live in Thailand for 6 months. We get to taste a lot of new dishes, and I get to try to replicate it here in Canada. It was nice. I have this little area here that I add. So basically, this is kind of like a little recap of how a portfolio is doing compared to the benchmark, which is a VFV. Someone pointed out that it's not an apple to apple comparison because it's true. Because our portfolio, we do a little active managing, we do some margin, and of course, VFV S&P 500 is straight up just passive income, right? No, sorry, passive index fund. So it's not really comparing apple to apple. But this is more like a comparing strategy. If I were to retire off a different strategy, how would it have gone? Again, I like to point out that you shouldn't take anything here with the as a solid data. Is it just for entertainment purposes? Because this kind of data is not replicable, right? So basically, I have this result. When you're doing it on your own, you're gonna get a totally different result because there's so many nuances that it's gonna change for each time you try. So yeah, sorry, a little kind of just stream through here. It's a nice day outside. I'm just gonna go off for a walk. Just what thought I'd do some quick update here before I go. So thank you everyone for watching. Before that we go, I'm gonna look through some comment here. I think I did go through that already. So okay, if you have 56,000 margin, you're so this is I think this is the comment I'm talking about. That it's not a comparing apple to apple. I think I went over that, and I see that a lot of you guys are enjoying the data, which I'm really glad. But again, if you have any questions, I hate to say this, but I'm just so bored sometimes. I have so much time in my hand, and I can't really go out right now because of my family situation. So if you have any question, concern, let me know. We can talk. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day. See you guys later.